113 8K, and I closed it right before it, literally
Yeah.
moments before.
Yeah, that's good, brother. Yeah. We had, we had a very, very tiny area where we could manage hedges, right? Which is what we were talking about last stream. We were saying, look, as long as you're not breaking above this parallel channel, it's okay to be in some hedges. As long as you're below this, you're in some hedges. But as soon as you see this, no need for hedges. You're like, okay, well now we're cleared for takeoff, right? That's what we mean. One of the first things we learn even in core is, number one, how to find significant levels. Number two, analyzing price action. Number three, risk managed entries, right? And this was a combination of all those three things coming together at one place, right? We had a very, very tight area to manage some hedges if you wanted to hedge. As soon as you see this, that's it. You're not in hedges anymore. You're waiting for more upside now. That's it, right? So where are we currently? We're literally front running. If you look at this, 0.707. 1.414, right? We do have ABCD. Now, do we need
Your
to drop
screen's
out?
not sharing.
Oh shit, yeah, hang on. I'm not shared yet. One sec. Let me do that. There we go. Can you guys see that?
All good.
Thank you.
Okay. So, where are we? The area I was talking about, by the way, was this one right here, right? So we were below the 2.618. We were SFPing the seller zone high over here. We were below this buy seller zone, and we hadn't actually retested properly the breakout from the parallel channel. Therefore, if you wanted to hedge, this was the area where you would have, at least in a risk managed manner, looked at some hedges, right? As soon as you see this, that's invalidation. That's on the daily as well. I'm sure you'd have had invalidations before. Again, in this case, like even the 4-hour close, right? The invalidation comes as soon as you see that. So even if you were in hedges over this area, as soon as you see that, you're like, okay, well, what the hell am I still doing? Holding on to any shorts you have, and let me just get out because we look like we're ready to go higher. We flip the buy seller zone into support. We're closing above now the 2.618, and what do we say? As we said, at a minimum above 109.806, above that 2.618, the close above, and the maintenance above the close is what's going to propel us higher, right? So we've got that scenario play out now. Where we currently are approaching a 1.414, right? So again, even in terms of my own system, we know what this means. We're currently hitting a liquidity rate of an extension, right? So extension of this, if we were to take a fib retracement from A to B and it were to extend, the shallow golden pocket extension, the liquidity rate of that golden pocket is at 117,380. Okay, so we are now approaching resistance again. Basically, if you weren't building longs in this area, this is going to be a very ridiculous area to be longing. I am not going to be looking at any Bitcoin trades apart from now. The only thing I'm interested in, where do I think Bitcoin's going to top out? That's the only thing I'm going to be interested in now. Unless we get some sort of swift pullback before we go higher to flush out the late longs, I'm not interested in trading this. Okay. We have this 1.618 here as well, so you can see from this ABC, right? 618, 1.618. So we're approaching the areas of resistance. 117. This is going to take us to 119,691. Then we have our actual higher time frame target, AB equals CD at 3.14. Like I said, it's only a matter of time, right? We were consolidating without losing this range. So what we were saying was it's only a matter of time, as long as we are not losing those key areas, and most importantly, as long as we are not losing the diagonals, which if I now go to the daily over here, you can take a look at, right? This diagonal right over here, the thing we've been looking at all this time, right? This massive cluster. We've been saying as long as you're above this, which is that historic diagonal from all the way to the left, right? If I was to turn some of this off, so the people who aren't used to this can still take a look. We know where this comes from, right? This is a very, very important last completed wave structure. The two macro pools from the last completed wave structure, right? You had enough data to do this since 2021. So this is not like, people try to use fibs by fitting their fibs to the data. These are the same lines that have been on the screen since that 2021 peak came in, right? Because the data from this is basically the low to the high, low to the first high, right? That's it. That's the same area we're saying, as long as you're holding this, eventually we've got intersections higher, right? And even this, we said, give it plus or minus like a week, right? Let's say if we don't get it at the end of June, I said give plus or minus like a week, give or take. Hopefully we get it by the start of July, and it's been slightly more than a week. It's been 10 days, so 3 days passed, but this intersection is still valid, right? So 125, 127. If you got above that, you have 135. Above that, if you keep pumping, 142. We have higher targets, right? But this doesn't mean we need to go there in one candle. Once something's in price discovery, of course, if it wants to, it can go there in one candle. However, like I've been saying, even on like a more local scale now, if you look at the ABCDs, you do have the 117, the 119691. So you have horizontal levels there that's going to be giving you resistance, right? I'm not giving you these levels so you guys can short something at price discovery. Hopefully you guys know better than to do that now. But these are going to be levels once you see some sort of structure building, like, you know, if you see some sort of structure you can actually take an action on, then you're going to be doing so with these as significant levels, right? 117380, 119691. Of course, the main one right now, 121413. Let's see how long it takes for us to get this. You get above this, 132063. Right, same levels we've been looking at for so long now. Finally approaching the targets. And this is the reason why I've been saying, you guys know, I do not do medium time frame trading. Right, I do not look for typically 4-hour entries, 6-hour entries, right, so on and so forth. Hold the trade for like a few days. I don't do that. Right, I'm either scalping on the lower time frame, high frequency, or I'm swinging. And I've been very vocal about this. This is the whole reason why I've not been scalping recently. Right, I've said this many times. I have not been scalping. Right, maybe 1 or 2 scalps, say if I see like a really good RR opportunity when I happen to be on my screen. But I've not gone on my way to block out times in the day where I'm going to sit and scalp like I typically would. Right, and I've been very vocal about this, and the reason I said that was because I kept saying I believe we're in an area where just buying and holding makes way more sense than trying to trade the chart. Right, look at the range here. It was absolutely cancer. Right, however, if you just held spot at the areas where we've been doing so, you're completely fine. You're in the green now. Right, the challenge account is nearly back to 30k again. We went from 21k up to 32k, back down to 22k. We're nearly back at 30k now on the challenge account. Right, literally just holding spot. Right, and guarantee literally just buying and holding spot and me like not over trading, I'm going to outperform 99% of the traders that have been out here trying to catch every top, shorts every bottom. Right? How many people have been saying we need to drop, you know, so and so is going to happen, so and so is going to happen, this is bearish, that is bearish. Many people are expecting that huge drop, right? Now if we got that huge drop, it would have been like whatever, right? But we had very clear triggers for should that drop actually occur or not. Our trigger was very clear. We go and we first and foremost turn this diagonal into resistance. That was our very first trigger. We never went and did that. Right? So we never had any triggers taking us down to this area. If we had seen instead of this, then this would have been very likely. But just in terms of TA, we did not see that. We see once again, you know, you go up, down, up, and you didn't turn the whole area into support, right? The chart is telling you here that buyers are literally like they're pressing up against that defensive line, right? They're ready to take off, and we can't be surprised then when it does, because what's the one word we've been using all this time? Compression. That's exactly what's been going on in this diagonal range. Compression. Right now we're getting some relief off that compression. That's it. Right. So now, you know, do you do anything with Bitcoin here? No, absolutely not. Right? This is one of those stages where people are now going to be trying to short every single pump that comes up. Right? If you saw how much the liquidations came in, it was absolutely ridiculous. Right? Loads of liquidations came in. Let me also show you Bitcoin. So if I was to go on Binance, for example, on like a Binance chart, another what we'll be saying, another way we were looking at this. Look, we said as long as you are above these key levels, right? On the daily, this white line, what was it? The area where in the past, you had no kind of body closes above, right? Fully seller controlled. You literally have inverted smiley faces taking place over here, support, and consolidation above, right? Check. On the weekly, same thing, right over here. What we're saying, this is the area where sellers were in control. Boom, massive support above, right? Monthly, right over here. We were saying area where sellers were in complete control on the monthly, right? Successful retest. Boom, above, right? 6-month close. This is why that 6-month close was so crucial. But we're saying, look, that is a very beautiful 6-month close, right? You literally, the only thing you closed below was your all-time high. Above your 6-month seller zone mid, above your 12-month seller zone mid, right? Everything. You closed above everything apart from just your current all-time high, and that's it. So that 6-month close was also very beautiful. So we can't be surprised when you got that many bullish theses just back and forth, and you're holding the key levels we were talking about. We can't be surprised when eventually we do get that move up, right? It was there in the charts, right? Again, we were saying as long as this is support, you're not going to get those 90k areas. If this turns to resistance, if the diagonals turn to resistance, there's a very high chance you get those 90k areas, but they never did. Which is why you don't put all your eggs in one basket. You just look at it level to level, TA to TA, right? You have an idea, you have invalidation for your ideas, and you stick with those invalidations. Right, so that area we were talking about held higher. Right, so this is extremely bullish. The higher we go, the closer we are to our top. Obviously, wise, you know, Weatherman 2025, very wise words, but I mean it in a more holistic way, right? I do think we are extremely close to a top for Bitcoin. People are going to be screaming 200k. You know, I could see for now, like I'd be completely happy going towards 132. The blow off top thesis is in play. Okay, this is why I kept saying I do think we're going to get a blow off top. This is happening as we've been talking about it, right? The blow up top thesis is in play. We did not get that reaccumulation smiley face structure. We didn't get it. So for now, the blow up top thesis is in play. We're in price discovery, right? So for me, anywhere between 121 to 132, I'm happy. If you get anything above that, that's just cherry on top, right? But 121 to 132, I'm happy. Once we get there, that's where you look for structure to build. That's where you look for sideways action, and that's where you look for bearish divergence to start building up. Right? You look for, you know, loads of aggressive buying going on, not being rewarded. You look for buyer absorption. This is where you're looking for those signs, okay? Because now we just understand 3.14, 3.618. You guys know what that is. That is deep, deep extension, okay? Very deep extension. You are not going to be buying Bitcoin at these prices, okay? So this is where I'll be looking to, like, you know, as soon as I see like the structure telling me, okay, this is it, you know, looking for swing shorts to build for the next bear market. We're going to be slowly layering into swing shorts. Even if we don't catch the top, it doesn't matter, right? I'm not going to be, I don't care about calling the top or whatever. We're just going to be looking for structure and that's it. But for now, 121 to 132, that's always been the two levels we've been looking at. Nothing's changed. So let's see what happens, right? Hopefully we get 132. Even if we don't, unless we hit 121 and we start seeing bearish, like, you know, divergences coming in and aggressive buying not being rewarded, so on and so forth. Like, you know, I'll try my hand at some, like, you know, scalp the swing market shorts minimum at those areas and then see if it can turn into anything greater. Right, because I can't predict where they're going to top out. All I can do is give you guys areas where I think the market's going to be interested. That's it. Okay, but this is extremely beautiful and it's so, you don't understand, it's so satisfying. So satisfying because we were sat there for months just holding spot, right? Because for months I'm not, for a few months now, I'm not done any sort of, like, you know, serious scalping. I've just been buying and holding because I've always said I believe that the areas we were at over the last couple of months were areas where you just buy and hold. You don't get chopped up. And hopefully you guys see why. This is the reason. Because look, even though this is a big green dildo, just understand alts haven't even made a serious move yet. A few have, like Hideout popped off 30%. This is nothing compared to how high we can go once Bitcoin dominance confirms a top. Right? Altcoin season, just look at SWI. Just look at this. This can go so much higher, right? That 1.6 we were talking about, that deep crab hit, right? Higher. LDO. Right, double bottom to the move up, right? So many of these alts haven't even moved yet, right? Arbitrum, right? Literally again, hit the bats, right? Hit the deep godlies, hit the bats, areas we were looking at on stream, and now it looks ready to go up, right? So many of these coins haven't even popped off yet, right? So if you feel like, oh damn, I missed out, you really haven't, right? You can still manage your risk with spot. It's going to be way harder than, for example, right? And this is why I always say be active when the market's not giving you volatility, because now you have an extra 20% to add to your risk management, right? If you're gonna, for example, buy up here compared to buying down at the areas where we were looking at on stream, right? Extra 20%, of course, that's significant, but that's just what it comes with it. If you do not buy the bullet when the opportunity is there in terms of max RR, then the RR is going to get weaker and weaker as you buy higher and higher. That's the price you pay for the green comfort. That's what I call it, right? Because people have an easier time buying when they see huge pumps, but the price to pay for it being an easier condition to buy is a worse RR trade, right? That's it. So, you know, this could, for example, chop, and you'd have to either hold through that chop thinking, okay, this is it, I think we look ready to go higher, which might be a bit uncomfortable if you buy and you're straight down 20% again, right? But yeah, this is extremely satisfying. So yeah, 117, 121, 132. Ethereum nearly up to 3k. That bid, again, this was called in crypto chat, is now up 41%, right? And the longs, our proper swing longs, the one I gave him a main account, 100%, 2x on ETH already. And it hasn't even gone to price discovery or anything like this. You're still within HBR3. You are now, again, hopefully you see you're approaching resistance. You are not going to be buying ETH here. This was literally like, I literally said I'm buying spot ETH here. Right, so if you did not buy here, you have no right buying here unless you want to enter a shit trade, right? If you buy here and in the red, it's because you enter a shit trade. Okay, just understand, we're now right below HBR3 mid. If you go and flip this into support and break above this parallel channel, then you have another area where you can manage your risk to try and enter, and the target for that's now going to be basically 4k, right? 3,700 to 4k. But now, until you go and flip this level into support, again, you have no business buying ETH, but we currently are. We are now at resistance, right? We could very easily have a pullback to flush out the late longs, some sort of like, you know, diagonal cumulative smiley face, and then go up. Something like that could happen. And if you get that pullback and you see the lows holding, that's where you enter, right? That'd be your next entry basically. But yeah, this is very, very satisfying. We've been waiting, especially because these levels 121 to 132, we're looking at this since like for so long, right? This is targets that literally came in since 2024 low was basically confirmed, right? So by Q3 of 2024, we were saying, okay, 2.24, 2.618, 3.14, 3.618. Those are the four levels. The first two hit by 2024, 2025, but this basically nearly, it's not been a year yet, but it'll be a year soon enough, right? So for now, I'm not thinking about 152 and 165, simply because that for me would have been more likely if we actually had a pullback before going higher towards 90k. Because I don't know who the hell is going to be buying up here now to actually funnel us up to 150, 160, so on and so forth, right? You'd think majority of the smart money's in already. I don't see anyone with size piling on over here. So for now, I'm saying 121 to 132, right? But again, if you flip 132 into support, then why not, right? Why not 152? Then you have no reason to, right? To just randomly say we can't go there. You very well could go there if 132 is support. So yeah, that's now. This is extremely beautiful, right? Extremely beautiful. My main account's up a stupid amount. Trying not to trying to keep my emotions in check and stuff, right? Not to set too early and stuff because it's a stupid amount. But the challenge account, again, from 21k, we went up to 32, straight back down to 22, back up to 30 for now, right? And alts haven't even moved yet. I've got no Bitcoin in the challenge account, right? It's ETH and alts, that's it. So once alts really catch bids, because alts haven't got the rotation yet, okay? Once they really catch bids, that's when we'll be really green. Everything's gonna be green at that point, right? But yeah, let me check back to the chat. Sup, brother Brett Shaker. A116Z, yeah, we'll take a look at that. 3k ETH. Nice, bro. I see you've been doing Forex as well, haven't you? I just caught up with the chat earlier. How you finding it? Yeah, we'll look at BTC Dom as well, bro. So let's look at A116Z first. Actually, wait, no. Let's look at BTC Dom first to keep it in line. Let me look at A116Z. So focus, right? No, master list. BTC. Actually, we have BTC dominance. Ooh, nice. Okay, we are at support currently, 0.5 or the macro fib. So if you want distributive structure, it's very easy here actually. We'll do the weekly first. First area you'd be looking at is here. You'd want to see something like this, right? If you see that, then high confidence, you could say with chess, until invalidated, you could say with high confidence, I think BTC dominance stop is in. But if you don't, you keep reclaiming it, then BTC dominance could keep on pushing higher, right? But I've got another chart for this. Which one is it? One sec. So again, this one is in terms of trend-based sub-extension from low, high, high, low. Yeah, that's what it will be. High, low, lower, high, sorry. High, low, lower, high. Front of the golden pocket hit. Rejected, right? That's what it is. You're rejecting off a very key zone right over here. Previous gap, confluential area basically. So if you do lose that 0.5 of the area we were looking at earlier, then I'll be looking at 62% for support, right? But I do have many charts for this. So one sec. Let me go to. There we go. That's another one. Yeah, 0.5 is the same one. BTC dominance, same one. I do have. There we go. Okay, so is it a surprise we are topping out where we are? Again, this is a level we're talking about for ages. 618, 1.618, right? You are currently at a ABCD 1.618. This one I gave actually towards the start of this year, right? This was towards because that C point had come in December 2024. So this one I gave way ahead of time. We were just waiting for it to hit, right? We had a deep crab here, you know, that hit, but this didn't hit. We chopped, we hit the 2-week fair value gap. We've hit the 1.618. I'd want to see confirmation of, like, you know, one more attempt to flip this into support, resistance, maybe even a raid. This area is where you want to see a top come in. If you want BTC dominance to top where we are, then you want to see structure confirming that in this general area here, basically. But you are very much at an area on Bitcoin dominance where, if you wanted to top, you have plenty of valid reasons for why this would be a good top, right? If you flip this into support, this is what we said last time. If you do go and flip this area into support, then I'll be looking basically at 70 to 73%, right? We do have this one tiny liquidity rate area right over here. But if you go and flip this area into support, then the rate of this would be the Bitcoin dominance top, in my opinion, before you came down. But for now, the area we're looking at, 1.618 plus the 2-week fair value gap, that's where we're rejecting off for now on Bitcoin dominance. So let's next look at then hang on, let me go to this A116Z. Right, I've not looked at that chart in so long. I might actually have to go to, it's not going to be on focus, so let's look at, what's the ticker for this one, bro?
It's AI16Z.
Ah, that's the one. I'm thinking of something else. AI. Okay, let's look for the crypto chart. There it is. Binance, Bybit, BigX, Mexi, OKEx, Bybit, Gate. That should be enough. Okay. Which one has the most? Ooh, actually, that is very nice. What the hell? How has this evaded my attention? That's beautiful. Double bottom there. Hang on. Straight away. 886. Close enough. What about this then? Just throwing on a wave structure for now. Doesn't mean it has to hit, remember. But I think, to be honest, okay, CoinEx has more data. I think CoinEx might be the winner here. Surprising, typically Mexi's the one that wins. Not this time. Okay, CoinEx, let's take a look. Let's keep it simple. Low to high. Reclaim the 0.94. Yeah, that, if you look at the daily, compression underneath, so we'll basically resistance, what was support, resistance, support, resistance, resistance, and then you accept it above. On the daily, you had no entry here, right? Like, if you were actually looking at that as a key level, you didn't have an entry here. But you had loads of chances to actually enter here, because I can immediately see a bat by the looks of things. I can just tell that that's a bat. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's a bat. Oh, that's painful. That was beautiful. I didn't actually see this before. I mean, it's not like it's too late. Hopefully, like, you know, if we do get a one more flush, fingers crossed, before we just for the people that are longing late out of FOMO. If you see this, beautiful entry on A116Z. I'm going to add this to the list. Nice one, bro. Nice one. That looks good. Like, even on a very simple basis, we just do this. Let me keep it very simple for you. No extra lines this time around, right? Here. 23 cents, 30 cents, and after that 58 cents in terms of this bat. Right, just in terms of this bat. And the beautiful thing is, if you wanted to now extend past those levels, then you have a deep crab. In fact, the deep crab is a bit too shallow on there, right? So basically what we're saying is the deep crab's probably going to get overextended. Let's do this. There we go. Let me just do bearish harmonic, so let's do that. Yeah, there we go. So we'll go for the hop of the deep crab at the 2.0. Yeah, so let's put this at the 2.0 for now. 80 cents. There. Basically, you flip this area, then this would be the next target here. Last but not least, we do have 586, good enough. That is going to be a normal crab, 1.618 all the way up over here. I really like the look of this. This is Moonboy targets, right? But it could definitely happen. Once you go to like a full-blown alt season, here's the thing: if this is your guys' first cycle, right, first proper cycle where you're actually in from the lows and not once everything's actually pumped, it looks ridiculous. And then you catch those months where you do like 200, 300%, and that quarter where you put in 500, 600% candles. It looks ridiculous now, but trust me, it comes quick. Once the rotation comes in, we don't call it no sleep season for no reason, right? That's gonna tick me off. Come on, bro. Just give me the 886. There we go. There. Okay. Let's make that a bright, or rather a light. Let's make it white. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Right, and then the 1.618. So there you go. You've got some targets for this. So I'm not gonna FOMO in when I see this, right? Again, we're at resistance at the end of the day. Just take a look. You know, you've taken out the last lower high that led to the lower low. Beautiful. If you get a flip with this grey box, it doesn't even matter if you don't flip the grey box. If you get a flip of this. So currently you're here. If you start turning 19 cents into support, right? This is the area where we look for that scalp the swing mindset entries for this, or spot, right? Just try to invalidation around those key areas. So either enter on this or enter if this gets flipped into support, and then the structure tells you that this range is being turned into an area of demand rather than an area of supply, right? So two areas here. Either you get that pullback, which is what I'm hoping for, fill that, you know, daily buy seller zone, so on and so forth, or you break up some more and then you start flipping this into support. Those would be the two entries I'd look for. Don't forget, we could hit the 382 and get some sort of type 2 to this for a higher low and then go higher, right? So it doesn't have to happen straight away. We could just keep going and then get a bigger pullback slightly later. But yeah, there we go. Yeah, good shout though, bro. I'm gonna add this to the list because this looks good. This looks really good. I wish I'd seen this earlier because that was extremely easy entry down over there. 886 to a consolidation, adds a demand zone and a buy seller zone. That was easy. That was an easy entry. But it's what it is. You know, you're not gonna catch everything, right? And this is also another reason why I don't look at many alts. Like I've already told you guys, we only look at select alts because I want you guys to focus on select alts with your ports. I don't want you guys to be peppered in 20, 30, 40 different plays, right? Select a few with conviction, size up on those. That's what I've been preaching, which is what I'm doing, both for my main account and the challenge account, so on and so forth. I'm a bit more loose in my main account because I've got a lot of money to play with in there. But like when you have like, you know, just like let's say 20, 30k to invest, not much, right? You're gonna want to like have conviction, few bets, that's it. Which is why I started a challenge account with not much, right? Just 21k. So yeah, let's add that to that, and let me quickly check back to the chat. Yeah, alts will go, bro. Leo, alts will fly. If BTC goes sideways as BTC dominance is cascading down, alts are gonna absolutely rip, bro. Yeah, I do. I do forex for when I'm actually swapping in and out of, like, mainly it's either the euro or the Thai baht. I just use Revolut. They've got really nice fees for big orders, so. Yeah, deep's another one I'm in. We were looking at this, right? We were saying if the 618 hits and we hold, then that'd be the next low. Where's deep? Hang on. This one right here underneath SWI. In fact, SWI should be. What is this, bro? What? Get there. There we go. Deep. Yeah, that's the one. Right. So we were saying minimum. We want that 618. Right. That 618 is right over here. We hit the 618. Why did we want the minimum 618? Because that would validate that deep crab we were looking at. Right. Sorry, normal crab we were looking at. 618 to the 1.618. So yeah, deep. I got some spot deep. Just bids being filled, that's it. Checked the other day, got some alerts. But yeah, deep looks good. And the last lower high that led to the lower low Here's the beautiful thing on deep. Even if you are sidelined on this right now, doesn't matter, because now all you're waiting for on the daily is something like this, and then like 16 cents or something like this to be flipped. You do that, you're gonna have some massive smiley face on deep. And even if you get in here, don't forget, where's your target? 220% away, right? You're looking at towards 52 cents in my opinion, because why wouldn't it go, right? If alls go crazy, this one has hardly moved. This could easily go here and past. So yeah, deep this is a good one. I've got this. Cetus, of course. Beautiful structure, right? Type 2 achieved, bro. We've been talking about this for so long. Type 2 achieved, and now you're getting the beautiful reaction on Cetus. So in swing long for Cetus, right? Spot deep, spot SWE, spot LDO, swing long OP, swing long ARB, swing long GMX. I look at GMX. This was a nasty drop, minus 3%. However, don't go off the color of the indicator, go off the actual chart, right? Are you at an area where you can manage your risk? Hell yes. So why would you not take a bet on GMX here? Easy. If you go and turn this area to resistance, just cut it. Because then you might have a chance at $6 to $5 GMX. As long as you're above this, you're in GMX. As long as you're below this, you're not in GMX until you either reclaim or you go down to this. If this, then that, right? Very easy. Scenarios. Plans, counter plans, right? Plans and then next steps, so on and so forth. Very easy. Make trading simple for yourself. Make investing simple for yourself. Have plans in mind. Have invalidations in mind. Again, keep it simple. Like I always say, 3 things. Significant levels, price action analysis, risk management. Those are the only 3 things you need to focus on. Okay, forget everything else is fluff. So yeah, GMX, especially if you go spot, this is the stupidly rather easiest area you could bid GMX, right? Name me another place in the chart where it's going to be easier for you to manage your risk on GMX than right now. You won't find one, right? Because below this, you're not in this. At this area, you know you're in this because you have 1 and 2, right? As long as this is holding, we're going to be going higher within the falling wedge still. So is Arbitrum. If Arbitrum keeps going, GMX is the DEX underneath ARB, right? Unless there's some news that I've not heard about, right? GMX will go higher as ARB goes higher, in my opinion. Still at the PRZ. So, you know, GMX, I'm in some for a swing long, right? ETHFI, watching this because this looks absolutely balled up. If you take a look at this, not going to buy here, of course. My 2 hopes are either you get this, right? Either now or like later on. Something like this, right? If you get that smiley face, I'd get in. Otherwise, like if you have that pullback towards that area, I'd get in there. But red box for now is the entry. Otherwise, if you flip 2024 12-month macro read buy zone mid into support, you guys know what to do, right? Look for the range to come in. Look for the aggressive selling to be not rewarded, and then put your stop loss below the area where, you know, whether you account for historical deviation or not is up to you. But minimum, put it below the retest wick low that you're entering off of, right? And then ETHFI can also fly because above this level, well, I'll be looking towards $2.17 next. Very simple. And that's it. Just one level on mind. If you enter any trades here, just keep your eyes on $2.17. That'd be the next area. Don't even need to complicate it. But of course, you can go and actually put the targets down for this. So I can just go and do this, right? Again, here's the peak. Here's the low. You've already hit T1. That was your pullback, right? Before we know, this could be the higher low. That could be the successful type to return that gave you a higher low. And now therefore, again, your T2, right? Look at the target for that also lines up with that area. So, you know, you start getting above this area, that'd be the next area I look for. And then projection is basically next to 2024 12-month seller zone mid. You have a nice big zone for you to keep your eye on, right? But there's so many. I know I still need to do that altcoin stream. I was meant to do it last week, but yeah, I've got so much shit going on right now. Literally, I mean, I'm meant to be home. I'm meant to be home yesterday. I had a session with Ryu yesterday, right? But yeah, my friend was like, "Oh, I've got this pop-up I'm gonna do." This is the friend I helped with the business in London, right? That I attended. I told you guys about the private chef. It was like, Rabin, I'm hosting my own sort of recipes, my own drinks, so on and so forth, at this place called Kiki's Lounge in Isle of Man. I'm going to do it for around a week. Do you mind coming to help me out? There's going to be loads of high-end clientele there. You know, you can network as well. So that's the reason I came, helping him out, you know, networking, meeting people, and also just relaxing a bit, right? The Isle of Man is beautiful. So I don't know if you guys have ever been to the Scottish Highlands. If you haven't been, it's nothing like the rest of the UK. It's absolutely gorgeous. Definitely go. But yeah, That's why I am currently here. We were meant to be at the beach. They're still gonna be there. I'm gonna go as soon as this ends, which is gonna end very soon. I just wanted to do like a update, skipping hus for you guys, bro. Meant to be with some huzzes, throwing down some drinks, but I thought, you know, all-time highs, they can wait. So after this is done, yeah, I'll go. I've got a bottle of all-time high vodka. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but the brand is literally called All-Time High. I'm gonna put it on, crack it open, mate, cause this is crazy stuff. It's the fact how long have we been talking about it. That's what makes it so satisfying. Right? It's like I know like a handful of people that were actually full on saying like I think we're gonna go higher. You know, hold for longer term plays, right? Only a handful of people. Right off the top of my head, the only other person I know that was saying it alongside me is Ponzi himself. Apart from that, it's like, you know, very few people are actually saying, oh, like, you know, I think we're gonna go higher, like, you know, I would just buy and hold. It's one day it's like I think we're gonna go up, there is one day I think we're gonna go down, so on and so forth, right? Everyone's right every single day. But we know it's been difficult, right? It's been a very choppy area we've been within, but finally we've got the actual breakout we've been wanting. Which is why I was saying I'm just looking for the blow off top scenario. I had the blow off top scenario, I had the regular cycle scenario, and then I had the failed cycle scenario. We didn't meet the requirements for the other two, we have met the requirements of the blow off top scenario. So very soon, I think, well, depends on how quickly we get there, between 121 to 132 again. I don't think we'd be going much higher than this. We'll have to see, but I don't think we'd be going much higher than this. Once everyone starts promoting in, that's why we look to start seeing weakness, signs of reversals to the downside, start taking profits. That's on Bitcoin, right? Well, I'm talking because I've got Bitcoin spot from like 18k average, right? Yeah, for those of you not in Bitcoin, this isn't going to apply because even if Bitcoin does top out here, for example, there's still going to be a period where it goes sideways, right? And Bitcoin dominance is going to drop, it's also going to go. So if you're fully in alts, then that won't matter to you, right? But when I say I'm looking for weakness, I'm not saying I don't think the entire market is going to top out. I'm specifically referring to Bitcoin itself, right? Because Bitcoin will be the first one to top out and then consolidate sideways, right? That structure is what I'm waiting for now. That's the next step. That's it. ETH against BTC, another beautiful one, absolutely gorgeous, right? Literally the $200 or something, less than that, $180 of the challenge account I put into this is currently like $500. Ridiculous. So I'll share all the PNLs, everything, and that's just the challenge account, guys. Don't forget all the plays I've shared even before I open the challenge account. For example, Aero, right? We go down over here. You know, we can look at some of this. We have Metis, we have MKR, we have Aero, right? Where's Aero? That's the one I really wanted to show because that was sending. Where's it gone, bro? Yeah, Aero. Right, let's look at this. Look, this is up 173% from when we talked about it at peak, and it's gonna go higher, right? We're in from literally these lows. Because I call this, right? This is all in the old section. Now this is from my main account because the challenge account wasn't open. But for those of you that were in the server already at this point, like, these are things you should be in, right? Just holding, because this never hit invalidation. Look, once you entered, it's just been green, right? So just to show I'm not chatting shit, for example, just share the Aero PNL real quick. I'll share everything else properly, like, once I get back home, right? I don't want to just PNL dump on stream. But there's so many, right? You know, Cow, that's another one. Magic, Plume, Launchcoin, Bonk, Farcoin, Bread, Aero, ENA, AKT, Ton, Cetus, bro, it's like I'm rapping, but Auction, Sats, Tears in the red right now, Drift is in the red right now, Rats, Metis, Ondo, JTO, Hype, Bitcoin itself, of course, ICP, STX, OP, GMX, XLM, SUI, CRV, XRP, Link, Rune, Aave, Aptos, Say, LTC, Chili's, HBAR, MKR, Zek, Sushi, XMR, AVAX, ADA, Uni, Pepe, Phil, Sol, all of these are things we've gone over, right? Not at one point, of course, but this is like, you know, especially those of you guys that have been here since pretty much the start, right? That have been here for a while now. All of these are things we've gone over, and I've said on stream at some point, oh, this looks good, I'm going to enter. Share the setup, whether that's in the old section, the crypto chat itself, or the Weatherman chart dump area. Majority of those are in the red, right? I'm just going to share Aero for now because I don't want to, again, PNL dump on stream, since that's what we're talking about. But Aero, this one's been outperforming, right? This one's been doing so well. If I just go and put that over here. So for example, that's the Aero swing, right? We had a 4.0 average right over here, right? So after I sized up, that was the average right over here, and we're still holding that, right? There's so many we were talking about that looks so good, right? ICP being one of them, right? But this literally even got that move back down to the area we were talking about. Again, look at all the M shapes. We had so many, right? So we'll update all of those. I'll update all of those as time comes. Like these things, I've done baby moves, right? The reason I'm not updating these, the reason I've not updated anything, right? Half the people probably think like I'm not trading or anything like this, is because like I've been saying for months now, it was not the time to focus on scalping. It wasn't. There's a time and a place. You focus on scalping once things are already off the lows or things are already off the highs. That mid-range, that's where you scalp. You do not scalp when you're at the lows, or rather you don't focus on that. That shouldn't be your main way of making money. That's where you build your long-term bags, right? That's what I've been saying for months. And I put my money where my mouth is because you guys have been seeing me say this for months. You guys on YouTube have seen me saying this as well, because the exact same streams here, some of them I record, I put on YouTube. And yeah, I think like after structures like this, the big moves up, that's where I'm going to really start like in a PNL dumping everyone. When all the people that have been shorting start buying at $8, that's where I'll be taking profits, right?
If Young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you.
Fire. Yo, stop Eugene, bro. I hope you're doing good, man. Hertfordshire. I don't think I've ever been to Hertfordshire. But yeah, I can share that, bro. It's majority of it should just be within Focus V2, I think. Some of them will be in Focus, so on and so forth. I'll share all the actual like the proper PNLs and stuff, and for the challenge account as well once I'm back, right, next week. Yeah, this is recorded, bro. It's not going to be long. So, in fact, I think actually that's where I'm going to cut it for today, guys. I just wanted to do an update, right? Because I didn't want to leave you guys hanging when everything's pumping up. Come on. Fire. That's great. No, that's great. That's something else I wanted to talk to you about as well, bro. I'll go into greater detail with it, with you specifically when we do our next session. But me and a few of my friends, we're thinking of opening our own in Hong Kong as well, because my friends are like, he's got Hong Kong citizenship. I'm meant to have Hong Kong citizenship because my dad was technically born in Hong Kong. He's a war baby, but he did sell that citizenship to come to the UK, right? So sadly, I don't have Hong Kong citizenship myself, but I have a friend who does. I also have a friend who graduated with masters from Oxford University in maths. He's a quant for a hedge fund right now. He's interested in joining as well. So me and a few of my friends just gonna get together, and then we're gonna get into just open a hedge fund and also get into properties as well. So it's gonna be managing like properties and like the hedge fund side, and I'll be in charge of the more hedge fund side of things, do a bit of trading. But it's not gonna be yet. There's a lot of, like I said, I don't want to just do it randomly, right? It has to be done properly. So right now we're just in like the sitting around the table jotting down ideas. How can we do this? Baby steps. We're at that phase, but we are going to be doing it at some point in the future. Yeah, because I do want to move my assets to Hong Kong. Because bro, the amount of tax I'm going to get here is gonna, I don't know. They could probably build a new council flat with it. So yeah, of course. No, I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, of course. But yeah, no, it's gas, bro. What you've got into is gas. Absolutely fire. But yeah, guys, so that's going to be it from me. Just an update. Just wanted to update you guys because loads of people on Twitter have been telling me to make an update video too. So I thought, fuck it, I'll just kill two birds with one stone here. I'll get this done. The only thing that sucks is I am not in Farcoin anymore, right? Not in the challenge account anyway, right? That entry, that was the entry. Like I missed this. Even though I gave this in Twitter, I missed this, right? I didn't have an actual limit set for this. So once I got stopped out on that move back down, I missed this. By the time I looked at it over here, I'm not going to enter here. I missed this high low by the time I looked at it over here. So I'm thinking I'm going to get into the next high low. I look at the chart again, it's up over here. I'm thinking, okay, before the bearish harmonic, right? Hit that again. I should have got in there, but I missed this again. So I'm no longer in Farcoin in the challenge account, which sucks because this will be doing numbers. But it's what it is, right? I'll get into other things, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, so that number one that I gave, that one hit. So I'm still in my original Farcoin entry. I've still got a spot, right? I've still got 6 figures in spot on Farcoin from those actual lows. It's just for the challenge account it sucks, right? Because this would have been an easy like 2-3 bags. 2-3k in profit of just this move. So yeah, it's what it is though. Like, I've been really busy. I've not been able to give it as much time as I would want. So, but this is why I just spot and chill, right, for the majority of it. I just don't have spot Farcoin on the challenge account. Like, it's what it is. Either way, once everything starts going up, it's gonna be going up. So, but yeah, okay, that's gonna be it from me, guys. Just wanted to do a quick update, right? If something crazy happens, I'll do another stream if I get the time for it. But let me ask this question, and I'm hoping the answer is no. Is anybody still sidelined? Because I asked this a while ago, and there were a few people that said they're sidelined. Did you guys get in? I don't think anyone here is going to be sidelined, but it's okay. So if you have exposure, you can size up, alright? It doesn't matter. Don't chase entries now because of green candles. Never want to do that. Just wait for that next flush. Just wait for the next flush and get in then, right? Many things, just as we saw today, you see many things are approaching resistance. So if those resistances get flipped, then slowly size up. If they don't get flipped, just sit on your hands until that next flip comes in, right? It's very easy to be like, oh damn, I missed the move. But okay, this is an exception. Things like Farcoin that are up like 20-30% on the day. Just understand many things aren't like this, right? Especially if you look at coins like, for example, SWI. I think these are going to go much higher. AVAX is going to go much higher. Bad, right? 886, boom. ENA going to go much higher. Look at this and tell me this does not look absolutely ready to just send, right? So don't even worry about it. Toncoin, that reminds me, I do need to open up some positions on Toncoin because this does not look like it wants to drop at all. Toncoin is another one, guys. If you're looking at something to get into, Toncoin is easy to manage your risk around, right? For now, you could just do this. If that demand line is lost, just cut, right? If you do this basically, and you turn this to resistance, just get rid of it until you get back above again. So that's your invalidation trigger, something like this. But Toncoin, I think they partnered up with, I think it's either Saudi or UAE, to literally give like visas to people who stake Toncoin. I think that's so bullish. So yeah, definitely. I don't think we're gonna get the 886 on Ton. So Ton, look, it's easy, right? It's easy to fall into the mindset of thinking, oh look, I missed the move. No, you haven't. Zoom out. If I expect this could easily put in new highs if you get full blown euphoric, right? 1.272 is at $9. You're currently at $2.93. Okay, don't forget where you are on the macro. Same thing I've been saying for months. Don't forget it, right? These are the kind of moves you're trying to capture. Hasn't happened yet. It's not too late to get into alts, right? So even if your thesis was, I think we're gonna go down, right? Give yourself a, judging off the fact we've now gone into the blow-off scenario for Bitcoin. What I would do is I'd just recommend, just my advice, honest advice would be, ask yourself, what would it take for you to turn bullish? If not this, what would it take? Right? Second thing is, give yourself an invalidation trigger for your bullishness. So give yourself a target saying, okay, if this happens, then I think we're going to go lower. And until that invalidation trigger gets hit, be in the markets. Not financial advice, right? Just saying what I'm saying. Give yourself, the easiest way you can manage it now is give yourself an invalidation trigger for when you think, okay, this is a bull trap, so on and so forth, right? And until that invalidation trigger comes to pass, don't even think about the bearishness, right? Just position yourself slowly. Slowly, like I've been saying, position slowly for months. You probably have less time now than you did obviously a month ago, 2 months ago, so on and so forth. But position yourself in a way that at least you're comfortable with, right? Because I do not want you guys to be sidelined up until we got 100-200% candles and then you start coming in there, because this is a very, very easy psychological trap to fall into. The damn, I missed that low, so I'm just gonna wait for a slight flush, right? You didn't get in at the lows, then you think, oh, there was a better entry even a day ago, why would I enter here? And you keep telling yourself that, and you never get that big flush you're waiting for, and price just keeps creeping up. Do not fall victim to this type of price action now, okay? Just some advice, not financial advice, just some life advice. It's a slice of life. There you go. Nice, nice, brother. Cash, yeah. I've not looked at the cash chart in ages. Yeah, no, that's good, bro. I've still got some cash left as well for my main account. I always like having, even if it's just like 10-15%, I always like having cash on the side. You never ever go wrong with having cash on the side. No, that's some good trades, brother. Nice. Ton, cash, okay. Yeah, UAK, 100k ton stay. Exactly, bro. That's so bullish. That's so bullish. Is it fake? Oh damn! I only saw that. I've not seen the update. If it's fake, that's so peak. But I was gonna say, if that was real and it's stuck, that'd be huge. LGBT HDMI every sesh. But yeah, so right, let's take a look. Yeah, I think one more thing actually I'll leave you guys with real quick. Another thing we were looking at is this is what you want to see, bro. Excess, right? Only one of you is gonna know what I'm talking about, but basically this is showing you emotional ass buying. This is what you want to see. This is how you want to end your sessions, right? Emotional buying to the upside. Emotional buying to the upside. Bullishness. Straight bullishness. But let me take a look. In fact, one thing I was gonna do first is quickly look at I'm quickly gonna look at tick based charts first. One sec. Yeah, if you look at the tick based charts, oh wait, no. 1,000 ticks. Yeah, in terms of contracts traded, it's just been bullish, right? It's just been bullish. The traded contracts, the seller contracts, just been creeping up and up and up. So this isn't time based. This is based on the amount of contracts settled. Very bullish chart. Okay, I'll leave this on ticks. Let's go now to this, and we are going to switch to candles, and I'm going to switch to turning on global liquidity index. And I'm going to turn off caller feed, and I'm going to turn off market order bubbles, and we're going to go on to the weekly. So here we go. Global liquidity is still, especially on the daily, is still pretty much just going up, right? Now if you look at it on the weekly, so on and so forth, even on the higher time frames, global liquidity looks like it's starting to round over, right? But still nothing indicating definitely a top or anything like this, right? But remember what I said, 3-month lag. 75 days to 3 months, right? That's the lag you're looking at for the actual moves up in correlation to Bitcoin and global liquidity, right? So for example, the top came in September, top came in December, January, 3 months later. Bottom came in start of January, right? Midway through January, this bottom came in end of March, like first week of April, 3 months later. So let's say global liquidity does top out here. It tops out, so you're looking at 75 days to 3 months lag. So let's say we go with 3 months because that seems to be the prevalent one. July, August, September, October. We have 3 months of a lot of upside still open, right? So don't forget this one. I mentioned this a couple times before. Like I was saying, global liquidity was not indicating weakness to us whatsoever, right? Global liquidity has been going up. Even on the daily, it's still an uptrend. The trend's not broken. So global liquidity can keep going up. And if Fed start cutting rates, right? Remember, quantitative tightening hasn't been happening, right? The Fed has paused that for a while now. It's been flat. They've not explicitly said we're going to be QEing, but that's just around the corner in my opinion, right? Because they've been flat for a month or two now, right? And if the rate cuts come along with QE, we are going to be absolutely booming. And this is why I said people were trying to fractal this to the 2021 top, right? But the macro situation we're in is completely different. This is when the printers came. This is when quantitative tightening started, pretty much, right? This is when we had all that macro bearishness start coming in. This is where the Fed pivoted to the downside, right? We are not in the same macro environment where we currently are in terms of monetary policy from the US, right? If all of a sudden, for example, like Jerome Powell were to resign and they were to put in some crypto-friendly person in there and they were to start easing everything up, we've got so much fuel now underneath us that could just send us so much higher, right? So that's something else to consider as well. But just wanted to leave you guys off with this one here. So let me turn that off now, and we'll go back on to this one I've got mainly for time price opportunity. I'll leave you on the 1 minute for now. Actually, I'll leave it on the 1,000 ticks chart. Should work. Please work. 100 ticks. Piss off. Right, 15 minutes. Whatever. I'll leave it on the 15. Alright, that's that. But yeah. Target rate probabilities. Yeah, let's see. But honestly, like now that we've for now on very en route for the blow of top scenario, like people are gonna start coming in slowly thinking they got time. Like I'd be looking to like go into like start looking at scalp the swing and then even opening up swing shorts and taking profits and looking for weakness by the end of the year even, right? By the end of the year. Nice. We got our own oracle. Let's see when they actually do it. Like they might just come out swinging and be like rate cost this month, something like the next month. But yeah, September likely then. If it happens by September, amazing. Do you mean like on the stream where we go over alts, bro? If so, yeah, I'll do one. Well, if something crazy happens, I'll do another one like this, like before I come back next week. But otherwise, I'll do one sometime next week. But literally the same projects we've been talking about, like when we open the challenge account, that's literally still I'm holding. Nothing's changed on there. If I change something, I'd have updated you guys. Just buy and hold. That's literally what I've been saying and doing, right? So. But yeah, okay. Anyway, that is going to be it from me. I'm gonna go out. It's too warm for this, bro. I need the beachside cider. So I'm gonna pop off. I'll do another stream. Something crazy happens, like I know I'll do another quick one like this again before I come back. But otherwise, like I'll DM you guys after I'm back properly next week. Yeah, probably like late Wednesday. Or rather, latest late Wednesday. But I should be back earlier than that on Wednesday. I'll be back sometime Wednesday basically, and then I can start getting sessions in again from Thursday. I've got 2 months till I'm off to Asia, so I'll do as much sessions as I can from now till Asia. When I'm in Asia, I'll still have my laptop, but I'm probably only going to be like doing group streams like this. So I'll try to get as much sessions done as possible between now and then. And then, like I used to do, you guys will still have access to me when I'm in Asia, right? It's not like I'm going to go ghost for 2 months. At the most pivotal time, I still have my laptop. I'll do streams. But yeah, I get as much sessions done as possible between now and Asia. So September the 1st to basically like end of October, I'll be gone. But yeah, that's it from me today, guys. Just wanted to do a quick update. Yeah. So thank you guys for your time. And yeah, DMs around. I'm sorry, guys. I've got so many I haven't opened. I've got so many I have opened. I've not had a chance to reply to yet. I literally like so many. So yeah, I'll get to those when I get time. But yeah, no. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Please, if you see opportunity, you see that RR managed trade. Obviously, it's going to be harder to find RR trades right now as we pumped. But if you do get one more flush, we get that pullback, you get that RR trade, or you see resistance being flipped, and you see a very easy opportunity to get in with minimal losses, right? Very minimal losses, very tight stop losses. Just take it, right? Just start taking it. There is no perfect time to enter the market, right? So just if the RR opportunity comes, just take it, in my opinion. But yeah, that'll be it from me, guys. I'll put this on YouTube for those of you that couldn't see it. And apart from that, I'll talk to you guys soon. Yeah, bye bye.